Greetings, everyone. I am so happy to be here. And I'm just delighted that I'm going to have an opportunity to meet all of you at the Colombia Encounter, the Colombia Integral Encounter. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I just had a big event in my life that I'd like to share with you. My Auntie Pat passed away. She was the last living person in my mother's generation. And aside from losing somebody that I loved so dearly, it's giving me a different perspective on my life now, because I realize that I am now the last generation that's alive in our family. It has me pondering my own life and what I'm here for. What have I done in my life that's been useful for other people? How grateful I am, how incredibly grateful I am for the life I have. My goodness. And so while I'm pondering, I'm reviewing and thinking about my life and the life of my auntie and my parents. I've moved back here to Lewistown, a little rural town in central Montana. It's really a lovely little place, but certainly nothing like a big urban buzzing place like so many people live. I've had my chances to live in those places too. But I live in this quiet little village now, and I really love it here. Good, solid people who care about each other, and that means a lot to me. And yet with the wonders of the internet, I can still do the work that I've been doing for so many years, namely teaching. This is my 56th year of teaching. It's amazing to me that I've had the chance to work with people for so many years, and so clear that they've all taught me way, way more than I've ever taught them. I'm very, I'm indebted. I'm indebted to my students. They have indeed oftentimes been my greatest teacher. So 56 years of teaching, you know, I started in first grade, teaching little first graders. And I've taught every age all the way up through post-PhD, postgraduate classes, postgraduate work. And I've done a lot of administrative work in the educational field too. And during that time, I got pretty involved also with research. When I was only about 27 when I started my first research project. And I think every job I've ever had, I've done some kind of research project, mainly because I was always so curious about what are the questions that we want to answer and how can we find out? And that was such a remarkable inquiry for me. So I guess I could say that I've learned a lot because I've been living the questions for a long, long time. And there have been many times when I felt, oh, I have the answer now. And then I found out later that I don't have the answer. Something else has come up that has taught me that, you know, I don't have the answer. Having the answer comes to me less and less these days, and I'm more and more open to the glory of just being in the process of working with all these varieties of research projects and teaching and learning situations that I have the blessings to experience. My latest research project is the stages model. So I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm doing now. The stages model is a developmental model that rests on the lineage of Jane Lovinger. And as you know, Torbert and Susanka Greuter have done very, very wonderful additions to that model. And I've made an attempt to do some things with this lineage that has been quite insightful to me and also perhaps to others. And it's been quite an eye-opening process. I tried to put the Lovinger lineage together with Ken's integral model, and of course I could not do that without his help. So I found out about Ken, probably in the early 90s, and I was so engrossed in his work. I read everything I could get my hands on. And when SES came out, I thoroughly enjoyed it and had such a good time. And I decided that I was going to do what I could to get involved. And I did work with the integral education process for a while. But when it came to the stages model, I knew I needed to have some really good help. So I went to Ken, and he advised me and coached me on some of the parts of this model that were at first difficult for me to understand. And my understanding got better and better. And one of the things that I've learned through this whole process of working with the stages model is that, we're paying attention to evolution itself, and each model, at least the stages model, has been developed to evolve. Not only do people evolve and planets evolve and life evolves, research methodologies evolve, and models that we have also evolve. They're not really stagnant, and somebody is always going to come along and add some things that I didn't know was possible. And we welcome that with the stages model. My brother and I run a little company called Stages International, and we teach things like psychotherapy and coaching in a developmental stages perspective. We work with the person perspectives as well, and we've taught a number of face-to-face workshops, but a lot of online ones. And this company is about 4 years old now, and we're just really enjoying ourselves. Kim is a psychotherapist, so he's brought so much knowledge and understandings of shadow and growth and development, and his own models fit very well alongside of and intertwine with the stages model. So it's been so much fun to have my brother working with me in this process. It's really interesting at this particular time in my life to be pondering and thinking about my life, and given that I'm now the oldest generation, and it won't be too many years probably in the course of an entire lifetime that somebody else will be making that claim, and I won't be here anymore. But I do know that everything we do is just a small pebble of a contribution someplace in the whole field of consciousness. And we do what we're called to do. We're ordinary people who get up every morning and are just like anybody else. And it's just an absolute joy to be alive. I love my life, and I'm so grateful that I've had such a good life. And I have lots more to think about, lots more to do, more research. I'm as excited now as I was when I was 2-year-old. And I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you all for watching. Many blessings. See you in a few months. Bye-bye.